If you're a rugby player that is heading into pre-season in 2025, you are no doubt getting geared up for the absolute hammering that you are about to receive. However, how about we go into the next year's pre-season absolutely ready to dominate? I'm going to give you 9 ways to do that in this presentation. Hope you enjoy it. Hope you get lots of value. Please subscribe to the channel and like this video if you do. Without further ado, let's give you those methods to dominate your preseason in 2025. To start with, we are going to be working on strength and size. Strength, it is the absolute foundation for your success as a rugby player because you can produce more force if you are stronger. And that is so important in the game of rugby for so many different reasons. It's going to help you increase robustness so that you don't get injured. And it's going to lay the groundwork for other fitness qualities, including speed and power, which are game-winning fitness qualities. So important that you utilize the time that you have during the preseason to smash out your weights and get strong and get big. And by big, we mean lean muscle mass, not fat mass. How are you going to do that? You're going to do it by lifting heavy weights. You're going to do it by prioritizing the compound lifts like your squat and bench press. And you're going to do it by periodizing these strength training sessions, making sure you are progressively overloading over time so that you don't go stagnant and you actually get stronger. There's number 1, strength and size. Next up is your aerobic engine. We have got to build an aerobic base. This is going to help you be fitter throughout an 80-minute match. It is going to help you recover faster during those games in the season, but also during the training sessions that you have in pre-season and in between those sessions as well. And again, it's a foundational fitness quality. It's going to help you perform other things around the pitch too. So important that we build that engine. Okay, and we're going to do that by maintaining an element of consistent, steady state cardio all the way through. This is the cleanest, the lowest risk way of making sure you stay aerobically fit. With this, we're talking potentially top-ups or finishes to some of your sessions. This could be after you finished a training session at the field, you could do an extra 10 to 15 minutes of running nice and steady state, chucking a ball around. After your gym sessions, you could jump on a bike, jump on a rower, jump on a ski erg, whatever it is, and you could just tick it over steadily away just to do those little top-ups. If you want to, you can do slightly longer duration runs or cycles or rows, depending on your training schedule. We're then also going to increase higher intensity interval work as we go through the pre-season, and this is to start to hit the red zone. When you play rugby, you are going to do high intensity bouts of exercise, so it's really important that you do that in training as well. Bring that intensity higher so you hit the red zone more frequently. And then finally, you're going to be at training, so you're going to be doing rugby-specific conditioning drills. Here, we're talking about overload touch. Maybe it's rugby netball. Maybe it's adaptations of the game of rugby that are going to make you work harder, run faster, run for larger distances. Really important here that we build that aerobic engine. Now we're moving into our nutrition, fueling the rugby body, and this is absolutely massive. Our nutrition and our hydration is so key as rugby players, especially when we are looking into the demands of a pre-season period where your training load is going to be absolutely through the roof. You need to be getting the fuel in so that you can do the trainings effectively, but also you can recover and you can adapt. So, protein. Massive. Protein is king. You've got to aim really high with your protein levels so that you can grow and repair from those trainings and games. Like we said, build that lean muscle mass, make sure we're getting stronger and fitter. Typically for a rugby player, you want to aim for 2 grams per kilogram of body weight or above every single day. So this might seem like a lot, but always aim high. Then we need to be upping our carbs. You need the energy for these training sessions. If you are heading out into the field, you may be doing a lot of running. You may be doing a lot of high intensity work. This could include sprints. This could include drills. This could include increasing contact. You need energy for these sessions to get the best out of them. This might be the same as well for your gym sessions. If you have long gym sessions with high amounts of volume and intensity, you need energy that's going to sustain it all the way through so you can lift those heavier weights. You can keep on going throughout the session. Get those carbs in, really important. And finally, please don't forget about your hydration. Hydrate like a pro. Dehydration is absolutely terrible, especially typically during a preseason. It may be summer wherever you are training. So making sure you're keeping your water topped up is huge. Otherwise, you may get some seriously detrimental effects. Fuel the rugby body, super important. Next up, and a commonly forgotten element of a rugby player and a rugby training program, is to recover like your life depends on it. Because the demands of preseason is going to be so high, your body is going to be super fatigued. So it's so important that you treat recovery just as importantly as you would the training. And getting those fundamentals right is the key. The sleep, nutrition, and hydration. If you nail those in, you'll be able to recover. Due to those high demands, it would also definitely be a good idea to add in some other elements of recovery as well. We have active methods. For example, swim, go to the pool, use the therapy of the water, do a bit of active recovery in there. You could stretch and foam roll just to loosen up any of those sore or tight areas. You could do an aerobic flush session. You could just jump on a bike, do a little bit of a low intensity off-feet conditioning to flush out all of those byproducts that are hurting the body. And then you've got your passive recovery as well. If you have access to these things, you can get a massage. You can do hot and cold therapy. All of these elements, super important. Make sure you prioritize your recovery during a preseason. Otherwise, you are not going to adapt to any of the training. You're going to be sore all the way through. When you hit week one, it's not going to be fun. Recovery, really important. Next, we've got benchmarking. So testing is super important. Some players are going to love it. Some players are going to hate it. Whether you do or don't, it is so vital that you benchmark your fitness levels. The reason for that is you need to see if the program, if the training, everything that you're doing is actually effective or not. If you aren't improving through a preseason period, where this is where you're supposed to get most of your gains, especially with your physical fitness, you need to have a look at what you're doing, and you may need to change a few things so that you improve. So, tracking your progress using simple and reliable tests. And these are the ones that we use in the Build a Body Online program regularly, just because they are very simple, they are very reliable, you don't need a lot of equipment to do them, and you can get them done a lot of the time on your own. Okay, so aerobic capacity using the Bronco test. Most people know this now, super easy to do. Test your aerobic capacity, it is very reliable. Then we have your strength, 1RMs, or 3RMs for your key lifts, depending on what you are going to do regularly throughout your season or what you are comfortable with. You can do these repetition match tests to test your strength. And body composition. Body weight tracking, so easy, but also to see how your body composition may be changing, you can just use progress photos. Again, this is such a simple tool and it is free. Most people have a phone, most people have a camera. You can do this over time to make sure that your body composition is also making you a leaner version of yourself as well. Make sure you schedule in your benchmarking. I would do this anywhere between 4 and 6 in 4 and 6 week intervals during your preseason, just so that you are consistently testing your progress and you can make the necessary edits over time that you need to. Now, we've done a lot already on fitness and strength and conditioning content. However, do not forget that rugby ability wins games. So your technical and tactical skill level needs to improve during the pre-season as well. So here you're going to be mastering the basics. You're going to be doing exercises like catch and pass work, tackle tech, doing your kicking. Go absolutely to the fundamentals and make sure you can get those foundations of rugby nailed in. Just like we mentioned with the strength training and the aerobic engine, this is the same thing, okay? It's also time to start learning from trainings and game day footage as well. Whatever level you're at, it's a really good idea to start watching rugby. Start watching either yourself playing or the best teams, best players in the world playing. Learn how they're doing things as well so that you can apply that to your own game. And training with your team every single session. When the season comes around, you are going to be playing together. That means you need to prioritize getting to your team trainings every single time. If that means you have to sacrifice one gym session or one bit of conditioning, whatever it is, your team sessions have to take the priority because you are the ones that are going to be out there playing the game together. Now, we talked about robustness and injury prevention earlier during the strength slide. However, this is really important as well. Building your collision load as you go through the weeks during preseason. The likelihood is, coming off of your off-season, you haven't done a hell of a lot of smashing into each other and building that body, a robustness for these collisions. So you need to prep the body for that. A really good tool is grapple training. If you've ever done any wrestle, any sort of jiu-jitsu, any judo, these are really good things that you can start to do in your week just to build that contact load. Maybe you'll be doing this during your rugby training sessions as well. But it's great for contact exposure. It's also great for strength. an application of your strength level to another person that you're going to be doing in rugby, and technique. You can work on some seriously good technical work that you can transfer into the collision-based areas of rugby, like the tackle, like the ruck, like the maul. Using pads, using bags, these are really good ideas. They soften the blow ever so slightly, and you can raise your intensity using these tools with collision load, and just gradually progressing over the weeks to full contact drills and potentially full whack games towards the end of the preseason. Get your body collision ready, steadily progress it over time during the preseason so that when you hit week 1, you're going to be robust and you're going to be ready to go. Now we're building an elite rugby playing mindset, a mindset of the winner. So moving away from the physical stuff, this is vital. Preseason is going to be very mentally taxing due to that load of training. So setting clear intentions for your preseason and the competitive season. Here we're talking about your goals. What do you want to get out of your season and your preseason? Set them, make sure you schedule them, use a time frame, make sure you measure them. Again, looking at that benchmarking. We need to utilize accountability so that you can keep yourself consistent. And this could be through your coaches at your club. This could be through other teammates. This could be through club members. Whoever it is, make sure you use other people so that they can go along with you on your journey and you can both rise up together. Otherwise, being on your own through a preseason is going to be a tough gig. So use accountability, use the rugby team ethos that you may have. Building foundational habits that are going to surpass your goals. Making sure these habits are nailed in to your routine. Things that are going to help you, whatever your intentions are, so that they are going to keep progressing over time, keep adding up, keep accumulating. So at the end of your preseason, you can surpass what you expected just through doing those day-to-day things all the time. An elite mindset, absolutely crucial so that you can get through this period of the season. And here we go, number 9, last but not least, following a program. So whether this is a strength and conditioning program, whether this is a rugby program, whatever it is, guidance from a professional and following a structured program throughout your preseason is such a big thing. It means that you as a player can focus purely on just turning up and getting that work done. And you can remove any of your guesswork, avoid any sort of stagnating progress. If you're turning up to preseason sessions, whether it's in the gym doing your strength training, going out and doing some conditioning, going to your trainings, if you don't have a clue what is coming up or what you're doing and why, it's just going to be there for the sake of it and it's just going to be fun. Okay, otherwise you need to start following a structured program so that you can progressively improve through the preseason, and when you get to week 1 of the season, you are better than you were before. And then having someone in your corner as well. If you're following a program with a coach or someone who is mentoring you, that is absolutely vital, again, for that accountability side of things that we talked about a minute ago. They can help you all the way up till week 1 so that when you get there, you know you've got people that have backed you. You know that you've followed a program that you think is good and they think is good, and you know that you're going to be ready to go. Absolutely massive. What I'm going to do now is we're going to go through a little bonus tip. So I've got an extra one for you. Stay tuned. So for some of you, this bonus tip may be stating the obvious, or it may be something that you don't like a lot. Well, it is simply to start early. Start in the off season. Getting a head start to the preseason is absolutely crucial. It reduces the shock of when preseason starts on week 1. Think about it. If you're coming off a massive holiday and week 1, you have a load of fitness testing, you have strength testing, you do a load of rugby training as well, your body is going to be absolutely smashed and it isn't going to know what to do. But if you have a bit of exposure to training load and you have got yourselves prepped physically and mentally for that start of preseason by doing a bit of off-season training, it's going to be massive. The other thing is making you more robust for the preseason load. Injury risk is a thing in preseason because of that increased training load. You're going to be running a lot more. You're going to be running at high intensities. You're going to start to build in some contact work. There are likelihoods of injuries unless you have built up a bit of robustness in the off season. So you don't want to get injured when you come into preseason. You want to be able to smash the whole thing. And lastly, just getting more out of your preseason. If you turn up to preseason and you haven't done anything, your whole thing is going to be a struggle and you are going to be behind other players, not only in your team, but in other teams as well, who are going to absolutely dominate you come week 1 unless you catch up. If you start in the off season, you don't have to play that catch up. You are already there and you can focus on excelling through that preseason rather than catching up with everybody else. There's a bonus tip. Now we're just going to do a quick recap and finish up the video. Cool. Check out the link in our description. There is a free group in there and a free mini course. You can get your hands on loads of pre-season resources for absolutely free, and you can have some access to some S&C coaching as well, and it's all specifically for you as the rugby player. So get in there, click the link, completely free. You are welcome to join anytime. Just to recap what we've gone over today, we went over the 9 different ways you can dominate your pre-season. Number 1 was pack on strength and size, building your aerobic engine, fueling the rugby body, recover like your life depends on it, benchmark your fitness, technical and tactical skills, build your collision load, get an elite rugby playing mindset, follow a program, and then the bonus was to start in the off season and start early. I hope this was valuable. Again, please subscribe. We'll give you some more content. Please check out the link in the description. Come and join our free group. You're welcome anytime. See you on the next video.